welcome to the show with me, Dan, and my guest, Jamie Dalton.
Oh, hi.
Hello there.
How's it going?
Pretty good, thank you.
Yeah?
How
You're
you
looking very well.
Oh, so are you.
I know, it's amazing that we can actually see each other.
Yes, so this is the first podcast episode which we're actually doing in person. You are the first of a kind, Jamie.
What can I say?
Mm-mm.
Maybe you should get my name tattooed on you.
I just want to say, for people listening, because this isn't done via video yet, or we're not using video, I just want to give a bit of context to the situation. So I've been recording everything in the corner of my room. A lot of sound tests were done beforehand, and I found that the corner of my room was the best place for sound. Shout out to Luke Broth and George Stiles who helped me with that. But so I'm in the corner of my room, and Jamie now is in the other corner of my room. So we're socially distanced. Mm-hmm. And I have quite a small room, which helps with the sound. But it also means that it gets very hot. And I have to close the window. So there's no ventilation apart from a small hole in my door.
Yeah.
So we are both topless as
are.
we talk to each other. Which is no different from usual, really.
No, exactly. I didn't even think it was worth mentioning. Just saying. Although
it's a given.
Yeah. I was curious though. Why is the corner the best place in a room?
So I did it right in the corner. I've got a flat wall behind me now, but I tried it right in the corner. Apparently, Luke Bruff said,
you could just say Luke.
Luke.
You don't have to say
Luke.
his surname.
Yeah.
Every time. Luke Bruff.
His address, his phone number, his star sign. No, I did it in the corner, but apparently the frequencies drop off if you have it right in the corner. He could hear the frequencies drop off a little bit.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. The higher frequencies, because lower frequencies travel further.
Of course they do. That's because...
Lower. They're just stronger. Lower frequencies are stronger in general.
Well, it sounds stronger.
But
compared
yeah, so
to
yeah. So if you're gonna call for help, always go help.
Yeah.
Help,
because it will reverberate further.
Exactly. There we go.
Yeah.
A little bit of science there for you.
Hell yeah.
And that's what this episode's about. It's pure science.
Science 101, we'll call it.
Water. What is that?
H2O?
So yes, this is the first podcast episode to be done in person, which is exciting. It's scary. And judging by the fact that we're both topless, it's...
even scarier.
It's, yep. And maybe exciting for some people. Who knows?
Well, we'll see.
We'll see what happens. At a distance, we'll see what happens.
Yes, of course.
Cool. So yes, Jamie's been on before. This episode, the subject matter is a bit lighter. And we basically, me and Jamie have always discussed films. We've always had a passion and a love for films. We went to college together and studied film there. And we both went on to separate unis and studied film at our separate unis. And we've always just loved chatting about films and having a bit of a debate. So we've got a few things lined up today. First off, we're going to list our top 5 comedy films of all time. Have a little chat about that. We're also going to talk and discuss a film that's come out recently called Eurovision Song Contest, the story of Fire Saga.
Best one to start with.
And so we've both seen that and we're going to review that. So that's going to be more of a typical review type thing. And then we're going to end on our top 5 Netflix films. So top 5 films that are currently of Netflix of any genre. So we thought this would be a good idea because people need a laugh at the moment. And most people have access to Netflix. So so maybe some of the recommendations that we talk about in the show you'll go on to watch and
sounds good.
was that a decent introduction?
It's okay. I mean, I'll give it a solid 5.
That's good. Cool. Jamie used to be I love how you're just banging the door. Just
Yeah,
behind
sorry,
me.
I didn't mean to do that.
Boom. Jamie's bum is against the door, so he's just using.
It wasn't even my bum. It was my hat. My hands behind my bum.
Jamie used to be.
I saw the like fear in your eyes when you heard it through your headphones. It's like, oh god, I've messed up here. He's gonna kill me.
It's very prone to sound problems. This room. But,
Apologies.
no,
Well,
it's fine.
you know, if we continue this, we'll make sure that we do a podcast somewhere better suited.
Not in your room topless, Dan. How many times? I do not want to be in your room topless. Cool. I just want to say as well, Jamie used to be a radio host, didn't you, Jay?
I did back in the day, yeah.
Yeah.
For the Pulse Hospital Radio.
For
Watford.
what? Pulse?
The Pulse Hospital Radio.
Yeah. And what was the name of your show?
Jay's Monday Night Madness.
Jay's Monday Night Madness.
On a Thursday, which is it wasn't really. It was
false
on Monday night.
advertising.
Just made it even madness. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that, and I've always thought about getting back into radio. The reason I got out was just I was too busy doing other things, but it's always been a passion of mine. And absolutely, when we discussed talking about doing a film kind of podcast type thing, I was like, hell yeah, I'm down.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thanks. I saw you about to swear there.
I was about to, but I held back.
Nice.
It's that radio brain coming back on.
You can leave radio, but radio does not leave you. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Cool. All right. Well, let's jump into it. So, our top 5 comedies. So, Jamie, if you want to start with your number 5 choice, and we'll work down one by one to 1. So, if you start with your number 5, and then just explain why you chose it.
Okay, so in order, yes?
Yeah, no, you won't list all of them. If you just say your 5th choice.
Okay.
And we'll chat a little about that, and then I will say my 5th choice, and we'll sort of go down.
It's going down to 1, which is our top 1 of all time.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is that
okay.
cool?
No, that's absolutely fine. I will probably say What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows. Okay.
Have you seen that film?
I have.
It's a very good film, isn't it?
Yes. Taika Waititi, the director.
Indeed.
So why did you choose this film?
It's just funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is. It's one of those things. I think I saw it first on Amazon, and I was just like, "What is this? I've not heard of this before." I've recognised that guy, like kind of. So I'll give it a go. So without any kind of background to it, I watched it and I was just like blown away.
Yeah.
I just thought it was hilarious. Just an amazing film.
So for people who don't know, do you want to just describe what it is, what the film is?
Sure. So it's basically a mockumentary type film following like a group of, would you say like a herd?
A herd.
Like, well, not a herd, but you know what I mean. Like it's like a group, but like it's like a clan. A clan.
Yeah.
Let's go with clan instead
A
of
gaggle.
herd. A murder.
What is that for? A murder?
Crows, I think.
Oh.
I think it's crows.
Yeah, I think
Something
you're right.
like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it follows like 3 or 4 vampires and just like their day-to-day lives in modern day New Zealand. And yeah, no, it's just fantastic. Yeah, it's just great the way they modernized it, and yeah, it's just fantastic.
Yeah. It's a wicked, like it's like a mockumentary style, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's hilarious. It's really, really good. Great acting in it. Just everything about it, really.
It's got a couple of guys from Flight of the Conchords as well.
Yes, yeah. See, I did watch that, but I couldn't remember it now. I really can't remember much of it.
Yeah.
But bits of it were funny. I remember thinking it was funny.
Yeah.
But I think it was just a bit too... I was a bit young at the time.
Yeah.
Like 14 or so. I wasn't really comprehending.
Yeah.
What was
You couldn't
going
understand the Kiwi accents.
on. No, I didn't.
Jamie just waved as if... I don't even know. There's 2 things wrong with that. First of all, you waved. I don't know how that related to what you were saying. And then this is a purely audio.
Well, no. I was going to do a joke, but then I did the hand bit. And then I thought, no, now's the time where I can back out of doing the joke. But you brought it up.
Just waved into the distance. Brilliant. Okay.
Anyway.
So I'll say my number 5 position
Yeah,
for top 5 comedies. I think it's one that everyone's heard of, and most people have probably seen. Anchorman. Anchorman. It's one of those classic ones. Is it on your list as well?
It is on my list. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Anchorman is about a Channel 4 news team, and
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I love Lamp. I mean, it's a classic. Everyone knows Anchorman.
I'm in a glass case of emotion. I do that. I constantly quote that to you.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably how a lot of people feel during this pandemic time. Just in a glass cage of emotion.
Generally how I feel every day-to-day life. Don't need to be in a pandemic, damn.
So yes, that's my number 5 choice.
Yeah, it's definitely a good film. It was on my list as well. I'm a really big fan of Will Ferrell. However, since dating my girlfriend, I realised that not everyone is a fan of Will Ferrell.
Right.
I didn't know this.
So is she not a fan?
No.
Wow.
Hates him. And most of her friends hate him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's spread.
Right?
It's spreading. It's like a war starting.
Oh, it's awful.
People who love Will Ferrell. Yeah, and there's my favourite critic in England, Mark Kermode. He hates all Will Ferrell films.
Yeah.
Whereas I, pretty much every film I've seen Will Ferrell in, I've just found hilarious.
Yeah.
Like even, did you see Daddy's Home 2?
It's got Mel Gibson in, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg.
I think I did see it.
It's
I can't
extremely forgettable. It's really bad. But I watched it twice. I watched it twice. It is definitely, well, I'm not going to say the worst Will Ferrell film until we review this next one. But it was, up until that point, it was the worst Will Ferrell film I've seen.
Yeah. But it was still enjoyable.
It was still enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was just funny, and I just love his stupid humour.
Yeah, so do I. I think everyone does. Well, evidently not everyone.
No, you've
Most
unearthed.
people do.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, I did debate about leaving her.
Yeah. I mean, that is a reason to.
She hears this. Anyway.
Let's not get into that then.
Not right now.
Next time on the podcast with Jamie.
Let's keep episode 1 light. Anyway.
So what's your next film on your list?
So you said that was your number 4.
Number 5.
Yeah, it sounded like you said 4.
Did I?
It sounded like it.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
5.
the listeners may actually be able to help us out here because they would have heard it as well. So
yeah,
if he did say 4, just know that Dan is a little.
Trying to find not a swear word.
Trying to think about it. I already committed. Sorry, I'm out of the radio thing. Just he's not a nice guy.
Thank you.
Anyway, okay, so my number 4.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Funnily enough, it's a Will Ferrell film.
Is it?
The Other Guys.
The Other Guys.
Great film. I think that's one of his best.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's about 2 cops that are promoted, is it? Or they're really rubbish, and then they get stumbled across a case, and they become
they have the opportunity to become like detectives, and then they kind of do a good job, well, a bad job, and then a good job, and then it's a very good film though.
Yeah.
I like that pairing of Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. They bounce off each other quite well.
Yeah. And Mark Wahlberg is, because I think sometimes I find some serious actors, when they're put into an overt comedy role, they can just try too hard to be funny.
Yeah.
You know, like the classic great comedy actors like Jim Carrey, Bill Murray, and Will Ferrell, they inhabit a character, and they find that balance of taking it very seriously, but still being really funny. And I feel like some serious actors, when they come into a film, they can just try too hard, and everything has to be to try and be really funny, but it doesn't come across well.
Yeah.
But Mark Wahlberg just did it perfectly.
Yeah, he's good at that. He is good.
Yeah.
I think Mark Wahlberg's actually a very good actor. Underrated, I think.
Yeah. like in The Departed.
Yeah, he was great in that.
Yeah.
The Departed is a film we should review.
Mm-mm.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Hell yeah.
Cool. So another Will Ferrell film there. Number 4. I've gone for Team America World Police.
Oh.
Not happy with that?
No.
No?
I didn't find it that funny.
Really?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I thought some bits of it were, like a couple of jokes here and there.
Yeah.
That was it.
I
thought it was way overhyped.
When did you watch it when it came out? Or have you
I watched it when it came out, and I watched it a few years ago.
Oh, man.
I liked some of the jokes and the Matt Damon, that kind of thing, but on the whole, I thought it was rubbish.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I've just got memories of when I was a teenager, just of Team America World Police.
Yeah.
And the songs in it. So there's
America.
Yeah. And there's just a song about Ben Affleck and Pearl Harbor in it.
Is there?
Yeah, it's like a typical montage where, it's like the sad part of the film when everything's going wrong. And, and he's like going off and just walking around different monuments in America.
Yeah.
And there's a song. It's just like Pearl Harbor sucks, and I miss you. I missed you like Ben Affleck missed acting school or something. It's just totally right. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah.
Oh, Ben Affleck.
So you're not a fan of?
No, sorry, it just wasn't for me.
Fair enough.
So some films are for some people, some are for other. But that one wasn't for mine.
Yeah.
Liking.
Nice. Saved.
We
might have to open the window soon.
I know. I'm sweating. I am really sweating profusely.
You know what? I'm going to open it.
Do it. Yeah, I didn't realise how sweaty I was.
Yeah.
Gets sweaty in here.
So the sound is going to have a little bit of background to it. So hopefully the neighbour doesn't do any evening lawn mowing.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
No.
Yeah, I think it just
Makes it sound a bit lighter.
shows we're human.
Yeah. Yeah, we're human after all. Do you know why the Matt Damon character just said Matt Damon?
It was a mistake, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, they made all the dolls. So Team America is basically, it's all like puppets and all on strings, aren't
we
they?
had a couple of the... listeners, if you don't know, I work at a place called Prop Store. We get a lot of film props and stuff like that come through. And we actually had a couple of the Team America shuttles and the helicopters and stuff like that in. Yeah,
nice.
It's very cool, very cool.
So the film really plays on the fact that it's puppets and that it's really silly and but they made all these puppets because a big part of the film is there's all these famous actors in it who are just voiced by Trey Parker and Matt Stone. But when they made the Matt Damon one, they realised that he looked like I don't know how to say this in a nice way.
Just say it.
He had mental deficincies. Let's say that.
Mental deficiencies.
What
does that mean?
The Matt Damon doll looked like he had mental deficiencies, so they just made him say Matt Damon for the whole film.
Yeah.
Cool.
It works very well.
Yeah. So, what's your number?
Right.
3?
So I started with what did I start with? What we do in the shadows. Then I went to the other guys. I was going to go Anchorman, but you've already had that, so I'm going to switch it up to good British comedy. Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
Great film.
Yeah?
It really is.
When did you watch that?
Oh, I remember watching that when I was in year 7. I've watched it thousands of times since then as well. I think it's just perfect. It's just great.
Yeah.
I think that duo as well of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost as well, they really bounce off each other well.
It's probably one of the best of British comedy films, isn't it? I think it falls into that classic category.
It's a good zombie film, zombie comedy. You know what I mean? And a British one.
Yeah.
Where it points out, it doesn't just do the same thing as what other ones have done. Like it points out how silly horror films and like zombie films are, like, and like the flaws in them and stuff like that, without actually doing it.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah. I remember you always playing the soundtrack as well on your phone.
It's a great film.
Yeah. So that was started apparently because they were doing a series called Spaced. That's how. So the director Edgar Wright.
Yeah. I heard.
Him and Simon Pegg wrote Spaced, which was a TV series. I think it was just 2 seasons, and Simon Pegg was living with Nick Frost at the time, and he said, "Oh, I'll bring my mate in to sort of be in it," and he was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then from that, there was a scene in that where they're playing a video game, a zombie video game, and then they just they like fall asleep and they actually imagine there's real zombies, and then from that, then they wrote a script about zombies, and it's brilliant. It's also very touching as well. Unlike stuff like Anchorman and these sort of films which go for funny, I feel like there was some really genuine moments, especially near the end when more of the friends and stuff and family start turning into zombies. It's just a bit more gravitas to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like British films are good at doing that. You know what I mean? Like there's more of a connection, I suppose, like emotional connection, whereas I feel, I don't know, it's that thing of Hollywood and like American things, like like the money's gone into it and like it's generated just to make more money kind of thing most of the time, you know what I mean? Whereas I feel like that it wasn't about that. I think we're quite good at handling, I mean obviously this is a generalization, there's been amazing American films that handle like emotions and stuff just as well, but I think that the whole attitude towards sentimentality could easily go wrong in American films. Just this schmaltzy sort of sickly, it just doesn't ring true. Whereas, in the end, when like, I mean, spoiler alert if anyone hasn't seen Shaun of the Dead, so don't listen to this bit, but when his mum turns into a zombie, and at the end when Nick Frost is down in the basement with his shotgun, there's a genuine feeling to it, isn't there? And they like touch foreheads, and it's not much, but it just adds that little bit of like, oh, I do care about these characters. And absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, sorry, when I was talking there about like American films, I was thinking primarily about comedy films. As opposed to other films.
Yeah.
That's why.
Especially like romantic comedies and things like
exactly.
that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
No, I agree. Cool. So next on my list, it was actually Shaun of the Dead.
Oh!
Yeah, so I'm going to have to sub one.
Okay.
We've got very similar taste in comedy
films. What can I say?
Okay, I'm going to sub in Kung Fu Hustle.
Have
you seen Kung Fu Hustle?
No. Please do tell me about Kung Fu Hustle.
Kung Fu Hustle. I think this is actually a film, even though it wasn't on my original list, I'm glad that it's been subbed in because a lot of people would have seen the films that we've talked about, especially if they like films or like watching comedies. Like it's easy. But Kung Fu Hustle is, I think it was Chinese or Hong Kong. Well, I guess, but yeah, I think basically it was a film about kung fu, but it's set back in many centuries ago, and it's set in this like, I guess you call it an estate. I don't know what you call it, but just this sort of like C-shaped living quarters type thing. So if you're looking from above, all the apartments are in a C shape. If you're looking bird's eye view, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, so it's just this small village type thing. I don't know why this detail doesn't matter at all. I'm giving all the detail you don't need. Basically, it's a really, really funny Asian film about kung fu. And it's so cool. It's so cool as well. It doesn't take itself seriously because it is an out-and-out comedy. But it's just wicked. Like there's proper kung fu artists in the film. And it's such good fun. Like, if you want a film that will be, you know, a different sort of comedy and a different sort of film to watch, but still just want something that's quite light and not too heavy, then please watch Kung Fu Hustle. It is so fantastic, and you'll have so much fun, and it's so over the top. You know, think Matrix, but on steroids, like even more crazy. They like fly into the sky.
What's wrong with the Matrix?
Nothing wrong with the Matrix. Not many laughs in there. But yeah, so I'll go with Kung Fu Hustle. I thought
Interesting.
it was such good fun. Okay. And there was also another film by the debut by the same director, was a film called Shaolin Soccer, which was similar. It was like they were playing. It was like a soccer tournament, and they can do all crazy flips and they can fly into the sky. And I haven't seen that. I think
I've seen something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one.
I haven't actually seen it, but like I've seen clips.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's mine. Kung Fu Hustle.
Interesting. I want to know more about these apartments.
Think like a C shape,
but from above.
And we're talking like a greyish, whitish pattern on it.
Oh, okay.
With like tiled floor. I don't know why. I just went into this description of that's so pointless.
No, it's cool. I enjoyed it. I mean, so like with I'm assuming like the living room would be on one side of the sea, and then the bedroom on the other side. No.
It's a whole estate of different apartments, and all of the estates together are in a C shape. You know, we could go into like a courtyard.
So like a bit, like loads of different buildings in a C shape.
No, like an apartment block. So imagine just an apartment block.
Yeah.
Right? With just a load of buildings. And then there's another one that curves round into it. It's really hard to describe. Like, you know, in like some hotels in, like they have like a courtyard where you can overlook from a balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's loads of apartments making up this C-shaped thing.
Oh, sorry. I know what you mean. Yeah.
There's probably a really intelligent name for it, but I don't know what that is.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's just a set of apartments.
There must be an easier way to describe this, but there's no need.
Just apartments. Apartments are fine. Didn't have to go into C's and stuff like that. Fuck. Anyway.
Cool. So what's your next film?
Number 2. Oh, yes. So I've got my number 1 lined up.
Mm-hmm.
But number 2 is a classic. All age ranges will love this film.
Mm-hmm.
Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents. Okay.
Yeah. See, I feel like it's a good comedy because, like I said, it reaches all age groups. Like my parents, who are like the most conservative fuckers out there. Apologies for swearing.
An apology to your parents, I guess. I love that you did actually swear a little bit before, but I love that the second time you swore in this was discussing your parents. Most conservative.
But they are. Anyway. So yeah. I've forgotten what I was saying. Oh yeah, so
I don't know. You got sidetracked with your parents.
Those conservatives, people, miscreants. They enjoyed it.
Yeah.
As I know, quite a lot of other people. You know, people our age, they absolutely love.
Yeah.
Like Meet the Parents and like Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller's a very good comedy actor as well.
Zoolander and stuff like
exactly.
That. Yeah.
He's another very prominent comedy actor you would think of when you think of Ben Stiller. But yeah, no, I the thing what gets me about that film is De Niro. Yeah. Because I haven't seen him in many other comedies. I think more nowadays. Yeah. But he was very... When I think of De Niro, I think of like the serious roles. Like, the Raging Bull and stuff like that. Yeah. From when he was younger, as opposed to the Meet the Parents. And it's just, I saw him in a different light. Yeah. So that's why it will normally stick with me. Yeah. And it, like you say, it is just good family fun, isn't it? It's, 100%. It's just cringeworthy in parts, and it's just really funny. I would say actually there is some good older De Niro comedies. Okay. One I'd recommend is Midnight Run. Okay. That's like a family friendly. I think it was like maybe late 80s, could be the early 90s, where he plays like a bounty hunter, and he has to transport someone
back to jail basically, and he goes across country in America.
I think they remade that. They called it The Bounty Hunter. It's
Maybe
got Gerard Butler and Jennifer Aniston in it.
Great. It sounds great. I think I know exactly what you mean. This is exactly the sort of rubbish.
What happens at the end? What do you think?
I haven't seen it, but do they get together?
They do. They were married once before.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Oh, that's so funny. You watch the whole film and you're thinking, are they going to get together? Are they not going to get together? And then they get together.
They reconnect.
Yeah, it's so different to see that. But yeah, check out Midnight Run.
I will.
It's good. It's less sort of like, it's not as funny as Meet the Parents. And he's not playing as such a overt sort of over the top character.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, fair enough. I'll have to check that out. There was another De Niro film that I kind of need to watch at the minute. Because my boss was telling me about it. About why he did the role of the Joker in the Joker.
Oh, King of Comedy.
Is that the thing where he was trying to make it as a comedian?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why he wanted the role. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to watch that.
It's a strange film. I would say that. Talking of not knowing or knowing where films are going, try not to look up a synopsis. It's very strange. You never know how it's going to end. It goes in really weird directions, and there's not really a set structure to it. So it does sort of catch you off guard. You're like, oh, now this is happening. Now this is happening. I think it's great though.
Was it all scripted?
I think there was parts actually that were improvised.
Okay.
Actually,
that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah,
because maybe it went off in that direction because it was improvised.
Yeah, there were definitely a lot of scenes. I think that you're right. I think there was a lot that was improvised. But yeah, it's sort of think like a light-hearted taxi driver. So it's a very weird thing to do. It's dark still. King of Comedy is dark, and it's got a couple of very dark characters in it, and you're like, yeah, but
dark as Joker.
No, but it's sort of done in a light way, but some of the content in it is actually quite dark. It's difficult to explain, but King of Comedy is it's Scorsese as well.
Okay, I'll give that. I'll give that a go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
cool.
Your number 2, please.
My number 2. I don't know if it's going to be the same as your number 1.
Better not be.
Give me the first letter.
A.
Okay, no, it's fine.
Okay.
Second letter.
I.
Okay.
I said it earlier.
Did you?
When we were outside.
Oh.
We'll cut this bit out.
I forgot it. It's staying in. Okay, so my number 2. The reason I thought it might be your number 1 is because I associate this film with you. 40-Year-Old Virgin.
What are you associating that with me?
Just realised that I associate this film with you, 40-Year-Old Virgin. That sounds really bad. Jamie is 40.
Just rest assured, I'm 28 and I definitely have had sex.
No, because we always used to watch it at yours. Well, I've seen it many times at yours.
Yeah.
It was like the go-to when we back in the day when we were teenagers and loved a few bevies. It was our I was going to say our pre-drink sort of film. It was also our film when we got invited to no parties. We're just like, what'll cheer us up? Let's watch 40-Year-Old Virgin. But yeah,
we don't want to go to the party anyway. We're film people.
We're happy being virgins. But the reason for this is we're talking about romantic comedies. This is a sweet film. It's about middle-aged people, which is also different in romantic comedies because it's usually about younger, super good-looking, and these are just sort of regular-looking people. You know, it's Catherine Keener and Steve Carell, and he works in an electronics shop. It's not. I would say there's a balance with romantic comedies. You know, some are much more romantic with a bit of comedy. Some are very funny with some romance. I'll definitely say it's that one. It's very funny, and there's some nice romance in it that's played quite nicely. I just think 40-Year-Old Virgin for me is one of the ultimate all-round comedy films. I just feel it's so funny and it's so sweet. It doesn't make him out to be too much of a caricature. You know, you get to know him throughout the film, and he's like, he seems like a genuine person. He just seems like a normal person that you would find. But it's so funny.
It's very good. It's very well written, and the cast on it, it's just incredible.
Yeah, and that's another film that is heavily improvised as well.
Even the famous scene of where he's getting waxed.
Yeah,
that was all improvised. Yeah, that's great scene.
Yeah, so the director Judd Apatow, he also did Knocked Up and Funny People, and but yeah, he just gets these great comedy actors together, and they just riff off each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think from a wholesome comedy point of view, that is a really solid one for me. For You're a Virgin.
No, I agree. I think I'm surprised it wasn't on my list.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Right. So number 1. This comedy I fell in love with when I was like 8 years old. For me, it's just like the pinnacle of comedies. Airplane 2.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought you were joking outside. I haven't seen Airplane 2.
You haven't seen Airplane 2?
I thought you were joking because I said as a joke. I was saying.
Well, have you seen Airplane?
I've seen Airplane, yeah. Airplane. I've seen Airplane.
You've seen Airplane?
Airplane.
Aeroplane. Aeroplane 2?
Airplane 2. I thought you were joking because it was like one of these sequel knockoffs that was rubbish.
I thought it was great.
I haven't seen it, so I'm not saying. I don't know. But Airplane 2.
Yeah, man, I think it was great. Yeah. Well, I think it was one of those things of like when I was younger, I watched it. I can vividly remember watching it for the first time when I was ill and I didn't go into school.
Yeah.
I remember watching it and just thinking this was just incredible. And yeah, I just find it just, again, great cast.
Yeah.
I think some of the writing's very clever.
Yeah.
But it's just more special to me. I know. I realise like a lot of people won't find it that funny. In fact, I've showed it to a few people, and they're like, "What are you doing?
Oh
this is
God,
like the weirdest film."
That's crushing, isn't it? When you show someone a childhood film that you have such.
I've showed you a couple of films, Dan, and you'd be like, "Nah, it wasn't for me." It's cool.
It's probably best with those sort of films just to not show anyone. Genuinely, because it's just like, this is too precious to me.
It's like New Moon.
It's like...
I'm joking.
Oh, God. It's like Land Before Time. Like, that was a childhood film for me.
Is that the dinosaur thing?
Yeah.
I never watched it.
So I showed Emma. Luckily, she liked it. But I could tell, I was just like afterwards, I don't feel satisfied. I just shouldn't have shown her. So I wanted her to fall in love with it the same way.
Exactly. It's all about that, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like those special films that you hold dear to you, that you want to share with other people and you want them to have the same reaction. It's like me and my sister absolutely love, it's like one of my top films, Robin Hood.
Prince of Thieves.
Yeah,
that was a childhood film for me.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Quite a few people do.
Yeah. But
there's a lot of people out there who don't.
Yeah.
Like, Kevin Costner literally speaks American throughout the whole thing.
Well, no, the thing is, he starts English.
Yeah.
And then he just goes, forget this, I'm just going to...
Marianne, come here. God damn it. Gotta lasso her.
Yes, he sounds Nottingham, born and bred.
Oh, Kevin Costner, what a guy.
But yeah, Airplane 2.
No, Airplane 2. I just thought, for me, I feel like a lot of films, like, they use a lot, you know what I mean? It's like, well, I'm sorry, I'm finding it hard to find the words that I mean. Like, they use it as like a template type thing. Right, and they use it off of that.
Yeah.
Because it's so... Or Airplane or Airplane 2, that kind of thing. It just kind of...
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so is Airplane 2 quite similar to Airplane?
Yeah, it's just same
like similar humour. And,
you know why? It's actually just this one really bad joke in it that I just find hilarious. It's not going to spoil anything. There's instead of in the air, they're in space. Okay, so they're traveling to the moon, right? And William Shatner's there, and everything is great.
Nice.
But like, there's this bit where the main character Teddy's walking by, and he walks by this closet, and it's kind of like, you know those airplane doors. It's kind of like they fold out.
Yes.
And it kind of had on it danger vacuum.
Right.
And he's like, what? And he opens it up and this vacuum like comes out, starts to go, and he's like fighting with it, and it's like such like dramatic music, like, like it's just, I don't know why, I just find it hilarious.
I feel like now I'm unpicking the basis of all your humour. Because a lot of Jamie's humour, if people don't know him, is just suddenly going extremely dramatic. Like, oh my God. I feel like that one joke could explain a lot of the basis
it really
of your
is. Honestly, I love it so much. So please, look, if you're out there and you're looking for a comedy film to watch Airplane 2. You'll know the bit that I'm talking about.
And I think, I haven't seen Airplane 2, but like you say, it's similar to Airplane 1. The thing about Airplane and like The Naked Gun and other those sort of Leslie Nielsen films... is they just go for the funny. That is purely it. You know, they don't have any care about anything else. Yeah,
because they're doing it.
Exactly.
It makes it so funny.
Yeah, because all they want is every scene to be as funny as possible. Yeah. And those films are brilliant. I did have A Naked Gun on my list as well, and you know those films are just so funny.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
So highly recommend them. So anyway, what was your top one?
So, I really like that one, Airplane 2, because it's one I would never.
You haven't even seen it, so.
No, but it's different, and I would never expected that, and I thought it was a joke.
It's like that bit in Anchorman where it's like, I thought you were joking. I even wrote it in my diary and laughed at it later.
But yes, so my top comedy and my reasoning for this, also the other reason I like yours is because you went for nostalgia, which is a different reason I went for my top one.
Okay.
My top one is because I have never literally ruffled. So ruffle for the older generation, or actually the younger generation, it's just our generation thing, was rolling on the floor laughing. It was like a thing like LOL. It's like one up from LOL.
Sure.
I've
never
Did you not know that? No. Well, there you go.
Not our generation.
Just the cool crew.
We went to so many parties.
Yeah, so ruffle is rolling on the floor. It's like LOL or LMAO.
Sure.
Just all these abbreviations that are supposed to be different levels of
Get
how
on with
much
the
you're
film.
laughing. In the cinema, watching this film, I ruffled. I fell off my chair.
Ooh.
And I was, I don't know, rolling around, but I was like kilt over, nearly rolling on the floor laughing.
Yeah.
And the film was Borat.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
When I saw Borat in the cinema, I was watching it with my friend Sean and his dad. And it probably made it funnier that we were with a parent, you know, just to make it more tense. Yeah. It is so funny. It's so funny. And Emma, my partner, she hadn't seen it. And we watched it again recently. And she was crying with laughter all the way through. Just for that reason, obviously, there might be films that I watch nowadays that might be funnier now than it was back then. But at the time, I just didn't realise how painful laughing could be until I watched Borat.
I have seen Borat. I've seen a lot of Sacha Baron Cohen's films. Yeah. I've seen, well, all of them.
Yeah. Don't brag.
David Brent, nice. But for me, I don't know why Borat wasn't the top one.
No.
I
really?
Yeah.
So you prefer
I prefer, you know, it's funny because I went to the cinema and watched Bruno.
Right.
And I was belly laughing.
Right.
You know what? It's weird. Maybe it was like a subliminally like a cinema thing.
Yeah.
Like you're watching it with so many other people and they're laughing at the same time.
So you didn't watch Borat in the cinema?
No, I didn't.
Right. It does make a huge difference, isn't it? It's like seeing a stand-up show, isn't it? You see it live.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
As soon as that laughter ripples, you're with it. Yeah. Oh, that is interesting.
Maybe, yeah.
So who did you watch? Do you remember who you watched Borat with or where it was?
Who I watched it with?
Well, okay, you don't have to say who, but like how many people were there?
I think one.
Oh, okay. Just you and someone else?
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't just you.
No, it wasn't just me.
Yeah.
I think it was with an ex.
It does make a difference. Definitely comedy. Well, films in general, I feel I have to be really careful now. I'm so aware of how much just being next to someone can ruin a film. Like, Emma isn't into films as much as me. There's certain films I will not watch with her because I I really want to see it.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
I'm exactly the same.
And you can just feel them there, like getting bored, or feel them there just being like, and it distracts it, it ruins it.
Yep.
I just want to be there watching, the film. And
It's like, perfect example. Like, I went to see Joker in the cinema with you.
yes.
And we came out of there and we were talking about it.
Mm.
I thought it was a great film, phenomenal, film of the year, that kind of thing. I watched it again recently with Abby. Honestly, she kept on picking up her phone and texting, going, well, this is stupid. That wouldn't happen in real life. Like, Jesus, like, shut up, woman. And like, she just kept on like little bits, little things, little bits. Like, literally, I just had to turn to her and say, look, just shut up. Just shut up and watch the film. Which didn't go down well. But she did end up watching it and she was like, it's a very good film and I can see why it's so good. But there's so many things in it that just don't make sense. It's like, just stop.
No, it is a fact of life. You have to watch certain films by yourself.
Yeah. I deliberately will watch certain films.
Have you ever been to the cinema by yourself?
No, that is something I haven't done.
I've done it once in my life, and I do want to do it again. I watched Black Swan in the cinema by myself, which was actually
good film.
Good film. Also a little bit creepy that I went by myself because there's a lesbian sex scene in it. But I was just
Was it Valentine's Day?
treat to myself. From me to me. It was really funny though because I went in and I was like, and I loved going it by myself. I loved just being there, and it is one of those films that I think you get more out of it watching by yourself, which is as bad as it sounds. But the funny part of it was all these old people came in, and I was thinking, they think it's a ballet film. They think. And then walking out, hearing them afterwards, I just went slowly, just to hear. And I was like, oh, that wasn't what I expected. And I was looking over at like the lesbian sex scene, just looking over at them, just like they were not here to see that. Like if it was like one old person, then maybe they were a really big film fan and they knew what it was. The amount of how many old people there were, they definitely didn't watch the trailer or read up what it was actually about.
Yeah. Silly, innit?
But yeah,
I thought that was a great film. I hadn't watched that film in a long time, and I think the last time I did watch it, I was a little bit out of my head.
Oh yeah.
So which just made it even worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got the full experience.
Oh, the full experience. I watched it about 5 times in quick succession.
Sweet. Okay. Well, let's go on to our review then. So, the film is called. This is going to cross the pathway because we're doing our top comedies.
Yes.
We're also doing our top Netflix films. This is a comedy that is on Netflix and it's new. So it's called Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga. It's got Will Ferrell, Rachel McAdams, Pierce Brosnan, and a singer that I forget the name of. And it's basically about these two people that since they were kids always wanted to be in Eurovision Song Contest, and they train their whole life, and then they go to the song contest, and then it all carries on from there, and we see what happens. And their band is called Fire Saga.
Yes.
What did you think of the film, Jay?
Cool. So 2 things stood out straight away.
Uh-huh.
First thing was, have you seen Sex Education?
No, that's a TV series, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, one of the actors who was in that was in Eurovision.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that was it. 2, Rachel McAdams' mole on the side of her face is getting bigger by the day.
Was that an inserted mole?
Don't think so.
Because I thought
I think she has it there.
There's a shot of her from the side. Is it in the music video where the shot from the side is of her left side?
Yeah, and it's Yeah,
and I was like...
It's massive, right?
Yeah, I thought that it was put on.
No, I don't think so. I think it's there in other movies. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
It really stood out for me.
So that's the 2 things.
Well, I think maybe it's just because, like, the other day, because I have quite a few moles on my body.
Yeah.
And I had to go and see my mole guy the other day. So he was, like, looking at it. And I was like, maybe I just had that mole kind of head on. I'm going, no, it looks a bit dark. Looks a bit dark to me. Doesn't look right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sorry, anyway, the actual film, it was good family fun.
So you... What should we do? A rating out of like 5 stars, or should we do like a rating out of 10? Or
Let's go out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What would you give it?
Give it a 6.
A 6.
Just on family fun.
Did you find it funny?
In bits.
Did you laugh?
In bits.
Yeah. Which bits did you laugh
I
at?
can't remember.
I honestly.
I know what you thought because you called me up and said, "Did you watch it?" Because I got about halfway through. And I know you never turn films off.
I never. I watched something all the way through. The only film I haven't watched all the way through when starting it was Human Centipede 2.
What? You didn't watch it?
I watched about a third of it. I was watching it at uni, and I walked out. And then I was watching it with 3 other girls, and they stayed, and they stayed there. But then
What? You left 3 other girls.
Yeah, that was quite bad actually.
Yeah.
But no, I left in them watching the film, and the next day they said like they stopped watching it maybe about half an hour later.
Yeah.
Okay, so this film, right? I really struggled.
Mm.
I was turned it on. I was like, it's Will Ferrell, can't go wrong, right? Daddy's Home 2 was awful, but I've seen it twice, and it's funny, and it's all right to watch. I thought I'd have the same reaction to you. Like it's just fine. I really struggled.
Gonna actually change it to a 5.
Okay.
No, 4.
I would give it a 3.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a 2 or a 3.
I think
The reason is
okay. Go on.
it is one of these films, opposite of Shaun of the Dead, that don't get the romance and the heartwarming stuff of it right, and don't get the comedy right. I didn't find it funny. There was a couple of points. I think when Will Ferrell and her left each other, and they were doing that thing where they're breaking up, and then Will Ferrell went outside and he like kicked the toilet over. That was funny because that was like classic, just Will Ferrell. He's like smashing stuff up and he kicks the toilet over and there's someone in the toilet.
That was like one of the bits that I really didn't find funny.
Oh, fair enough. There was a couple of bits like that. I think I was just so relieved there was a little bit of something funny, but I found it so embarrassing. I found it so, like, Pierce Brosnan's in it. He is doing that exact thing I was talking about earlier, where he is a serious actor and he's trying to be funny.
Yeah.
He's not. He's not funny, and he's not doing good acting. It was... I really wanted to just sit down and just it glaze over me. I didn't have high hopes for it. Anyone who's seen the trailer, or you know it's not going to be a great film. I just found it very embarrassing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, I know what you mean, but I was just trying to view it for all viewers. You know what I mean? As a general kind of thing.
Right.
A fun film that a normal person could put it on and just watch it, and it's a film. It's a film to put on like a Sunday after you have had a mad night out on a Saturday. Sorry.
Thing is, I think with reviews, it's how much you recommend something.
It's easy. That's what I'm trying.
Sure, but there's so many other easy films that I could recommend. I just would not recommend this because there's the only thing I'll say that's good about it. Well, there's a few good things about it. To be fair, and that's why it's a 3 and not a 2. I wrote them down, so let's have a look.
Wow.
Clearly a love of Eurovision. Clearly the people who made it and Will Ferrell.
Because there's quite a few people out there who do like Eurovision.
Yes. That's another good point, is that it sort of is exactly what Eurovision is, which is embarrassing and cringy.
And over the top.
So from that point of view, fair enough.
Win-win, yeah.
Yeah. But a bad point is, I feel like from this, I was like, there's a good Eurovision film to be made. Like, there's a funny and genuinely heartwarming and like really good Eurovision film to be made. And this was the furthest from it. It just was not it. I could tell they had a love of, Iceland, and they had the nice things with the elves, and that's a true thing in Iceland, that a lot of the population believe in elves, and that the film had a lot of love for things, but it just didn't deliver. It didn't make you care. I didn't care about the characters. I thought Rachel McAdams was the best actor in it. I thought, because she is a very, very good actress, and but I thought that she was caught, because she's mainly from an acting background. She was caught as you know those scenes where it's like, is it genuine or are they being funny? She was caught trying to be genuine, but also realizing, oh, I sort of need to be a bit funny. And Will Ferrell was the opposite. Like when they break up in the middle and they go their separate ways, it's like, am I supposed to be laughing or am I? It just felt really unsure of itself.
I suppose that's just like the two opposing. I was about to say forces. It really is Science 101. Two opposing, not attributes.
Like ways of acting or
No.
emotions.
Like, it doesn't matter. Two opposing actors. Let's go with actors. Sure.
Right. But if you don't establish in the scene whether a scene is supposed to be funny
Personalities.
or serious,
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. But there's lots of good actors who've done comedy and vice versa. You know, if you watch a film like, you know, Jim Carrey's done a lot of good serious acting.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, and that you know the scenes where they're supposed to be serious, but I just found this just awkward personally.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I would say find any other comedy film on Netflix.
I would say if you want to just put something on, easy watching, crack on.
Fair enough. Cool. All right. Well, let's crack on with our last list of today, which is our top 5 films currently on Netflix.
Haha.
So do you wanna go first?
No, you go first this time.
Cool. My number 5 is a film called Lion. Now, I've found that I cry more at films than Emma does now. Like, Lion... So Lion is about a young Indian boy. I think the first third of the film is basically this young Indian boy who loses his brother when they're out and about and basically doesn't know where he is. I think he's in Mumbai and he just hasn't got a clue and he's just walking around and he ends up in an orphanage where he gets adopted. And it's a true story. And he tries to find, when he's an adult, he tries to find his way back to his real family. And what I love about this film is the characters. It is purely a character study. There's a section in the middle that I thought was phenomenal. There's 2 Australians, Nicole Kidman and I've forgotten the other guy's name, who adopt this Indian boy. And it's like a small montage. It's not over the top. It's not too schmaltzy. It's just of him settling in and getting used to Australian customs and all that sort of stuff. And you get this idea of like, oh no, it's working out well. And then what happens next is they decide to adopt again. And the next boy they adopt, also from India, has clearly seen a lot of abuse and has got severe mental deficiencies. And he screams and he runs around and he hates it and it was such a short amount of time where they showed the 2 one after the other being adopted. And it was just like showing the reality of what adoption could be in this very short space of time. You don't know what kind of kid you're getting. You have to deal with this background that you've never known about. And it was so powerful. And then the rest of the film just plays out really amazingly. It's very character-led. And then by the end, I was really crying. It was a beautiful film. I love Lion. I really loved it.
No, it's a good film. I have seen it. I really like what's his name? Patel.
Dev Patel.
Dev Patel.
Yeah.
I think he's a good actor. And I have seen Lion once or twice now, I think. And I was surprised that Nicole Kidman's acting in it. To be fair.
Oh, you don't think she was good?
No, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because normally it's not as good.
Oh, really?
I think Nicole Kidman's a good actress, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because when I think of her, I just think of Satine from Moulin Rouge. But anyway.
So what's your number 5?
Sure. Yeah. Right. I'm going to start with a Netflix original.
Okay.
Annihilation.
Ooh, very good choice.
It's one of my favourite films at the minute.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, really is. So what's the story? Basically, what's her name?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. It's got Natalie Portman in, another favourite. We were talking about Black Swan earlier. She basically, it's like a sci-fi type thing, like alien sci-fi type thing. She kind of goes into this bubble, and then things kind of start changing around her. And this is all like on Earth. It's like a big bubble, and it just keeps expanding and expanding. And she's like part of like a team that go in just to kind of find out what's going on. And her husband had been in previously. Another good actor, Oscar Isaac. I really like Oscar Isaac. So she volunteers to go in, and things just start getting crazier and crazier. And just the imagination of it in itself just blew me away. And then actually seeing it visually and stuff like that, like the cinematography in it and stuff, is just it's good. It's very good. And I can only imagine what the artistic designs were like. You know what I mean? Like the art concept forms and stuff like that. Like, just must have been incredible.
Yeah, and it's one of those films that asks. Some people hate these sort of films, but I feel like it asks more questions than it answers. You know, it leaves you to go, "What was this?" And it repeated viewings and things like that. Yeah, it lingers, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I won't give anything else away, but I mean, parts of it, were very hard to kind of get. It's a film that you have to kind of concentrate on.
Yeah,
it's not something you could watch when you're hungover, let's say.
Yeah, and I think people who really love films, I think there's an aspect of it of bringing yourself to it, bringing something, not just sitting there passively and going, "This is a film, let it wash over me." It's actually going, "What do I think about that?" So yeah, that's a really good choice. Sorry, I'm rattling through these. We haven't got much time left.
How much time do we have left, Dan?
Roughly. Let's just rattle through these and then it's fun.
Okay, it's up to you.
Cool. My number 4, which I watched for the second time again the other day, and it wasn't on my list. It was just off my list, but I watched it again. I was like, "Wow!" It's 12 Years a Slave. First time I watched it, I watched it because it was the Oscar winner. It was the film about slavery, and it was like, it's just an event film that everyone has to see.
Yeah.
So I watched it, and it was great. I really loved it. But this second time viewing it, I have to say it is one of these almost perfectly made films. Every single note, it's like, some films just flow like a song, like an orchestra. It just hits every note perfectly. Now, obviously, it is horrific. It is horrible. Like, most of it is really, really difficult to watch. But somehow, so Steve McQueen is the director, not the same as the actor from the 70s and 80s. He made such a beautiful film. The cinematography is amazing, and the soundtrack and everything, the acting. If you wanted to make a film about slavery in America, it was perfect. I think it's such a good film, and obviously it's relevant and it's an important film. It's not like Schindler's List was, or it's a tough watch, but yeah, I really recommend this. If you obviously take a night where you don't mind getting really upset, and it's brace yourself, but it is a beautiful film in a really weird way.
I didn't think it was that sad. I'm joking. I cried.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
See, I didn't cry the first time I watched it, but I did the second time.
Yeah, same.
Really?
Yeah. It's just another example of what we were talking about earlier. I watched this with Abby. Yeah, she just wasn't bothered. She was texting all the time and blah, blah, blah. Like, that shot where he's literally left hanging there.
Yes.
Like he's, what I mean? You know the one.
Yeah.
She was like, it's the same shot again and again and again. I'm like, that's the point.
Yeah.
Like, it's meant to like drag on so that it shows you how long he's like dragging on. You know what? She just couldn't understand.
I was lucky in that sense because I watched it with Emma, and she actually had all the reactions she was supposed to in that shot. It was like, why aren't they helping him? And then the realization set in. Of course, they're not going to help him. Yeah. It's that shot is phenomenal. And again, it's just having the patience and actually taking an interest in what's going on here? Why?
I didn't think the soundtrack was as strong, personally. No. I'm, as you know, I'm very, very into my film scores, but it could have been stronger personally.
Okay, I just felt it fit perfectly.
Well, you're wrong.
Cool. All right, what's your number 3?
Lone Survivor.
Lone Survivor. Is that Mark Wahlberg?
It is Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
Sell
it to me, because I've looked at that and I've been like, it just looks
well,
like
it's just I'm trying to give a slightly different variation of different
different films, types of films.
Different films and types of films, exactly. Yeah. So Lone Survivor, it's based on a true story about a group of SAS type people, like a group of 4. It's got Mark Wahlberg. I wish I could say the other 3, but you'd recognise them in it, and it's just about getting kind of stuck behind enemy lines and like just the struggle that they go through. Again, actually, the music is quite good in it, but it's not mainly focused on that. It's just a very good war film if you're into war films, which I am. I know quite a few other people are. It's not like your typical American, we were soldiers, Mel Gibson type
Patriotic
thing. Yeah, exactly. It's nothing like that. It just tells the story how it is, and there you go.
Yeah,
it's simple.
So a good solid war film.
Yeah, it's not shocking. It's just it tells you the story of what happened there. And yeah, it's a bit heartbreaking, but it's okay. Yeah, it's good. So yeah, Lone Survivor.
Cool.
It's highly recommended. It's a very good film. It's not my most favourite war film, but it's up there.
Yeah, and it's on Netflix.
Eric Banner's in it.
Nice.
You gotta love a bit of Eric Banner. He got angry.
My number 3 is No Country for Old Men.
I watched that again recently.
Yeah.
It's a great film. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. This film, a few things I noticed about this film. Pretty much no soundtrack. I counted one time in the film, I think it lasts about 10 seconds, where there's just a high-pitched drone. There's no music. And it is one of the tensest films I've seen, even though it's not like gory, it's not a horror film. It's basically a modern Western about money that gets taken as a sort of an exchange gone wrong, and the guy
kind of stumbles across
the money and he takes it, and then someone then goes after him, and the person who's going after him is Javier Bardem, who is just got the worst
breakthrough
haircut.
role, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and he is just so menacing. And the lack of soundtrack it shows that you don't need to have like really strong like music, like or just something. You can just have just this. There's a scene. The epitome of this is a scene in a hotel room. He's sitting there. The guy who's got the money with a shotgun. He's got the tracker on the table. He knows he's got a tracker on him, and this guy is just roaming the halls, and he's just getting closer and closer to the room, and it's so tense. The film is just brilliantly played. It's and the acting is phenomenal. So it is just, and it's Coen Brothers who directed it. So that is a great solid film. I won't say any more than that, and we'll move on to yours, mate. So what's your third? Oh, yes. Sorry, your second.
No, number 3.
Oh yeah, I went first, didn't I? Yeah. So you're number 3.
Yeah. Number 3 for me is Children of Men.
Oh.
Yeah, when I think of this film, I actually think of, I think I remember watching it with you first.
Yes.
It's a very, very good film. Clive Owen, post-apocalyptic.
Women can't have children anymore.
That's it. Yeah. The women can't have children anymore. And basically, Clive Owen comes across a woman. Doesn't just come across. I'm going to start again. Children of Men. Children of Men. Clive Owen. Great film. Basic backstory. He kind of comes across, gets in touch with his... Fuck's sake.
Children of Men is just a post-apocalyptic
Sorry,
film
yeah.
where people can't have, women can't have children anymore, and the yeah, it's difficult to remember, isn't it? Basically, he stumbles across a woman, spoiler alert, who can, and she is pregnant,
And
then
it's about getting her to the
Safety.
Human Project.
yeah, so it's basically to get safety.
So like to kind of save humanity. It's got what's his name in from 12 Years a Slave?
Yes, Chiswell Ejiofor.
I can never say his name. Charlie Cunningham.
Yeah.
Charles.
So what do you like about the film? Apart from it being a great film.
For me, it was the tracking shots.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, there's quite a few tracking shots in that film that are just fantastically done. Like, and you can tell like they are just all one shot. Like, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
It's hard to like describe them without giving too much away, but there's a shot right at the end where there's like, you know, there's army and like there's bullets and stuff flying around, and you know, Clive Owen, Theo, is the main character, you know, getting into the building and stuff like that. It's just, it follows him and it moves around him as well.
Yeah.
Which must have taken a lot of rehearsal time.
Yeah, I think it's one of these films that you need to watch the behind the scenes after you've watched it,
Yeah.
because the amount of effort that went into just shooting these as one shots, and a lot of the effects being practical, not, you know, special effects and stuff, was amazing. It's how Alfonso Cuarón is the director. He also did Gravity, which is another film with a lot of...
He also did Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yes, yeah, but the reason I said Gravity is because that had a lot of lingering shots that were just one shot as well.
As did Prisoner of Azkaban.
Did it?
No.
But Children of Men is, the epitome of that sort of
absolutely.
tracking shot thing.
Yeah, I really liked Children of Men. I thought it was fantastic. I think Clive Owen as an actor is good, but just in that film, he made it into my top list.
Nice.
He's up there.
And I can't think of any post-apocalyptic films that were as good as that, because it's very realistic, isn't it?
It felt real.
Yeah, and it's set in England as well.
Exactly, and that's a rarity now. It's weird because I was actually, I think I've spoken to you about this a few times, that the films from when we were younger always felt slightly detached from reality. So like a good comparison for me is Philosopher's Stone. Like, you know, you're watching a film, you know, it's just like, you know, a story, and it feels like Warner Brothery and, you know, in a studio and blah blah blah. Whereas the last one, it's very realistic. It's very nitty and gritty, and I feel like films nowadays are getting grittier, and I don't know, it's just something I've noticed. I think I might have talked about this with you, or it could have been someone else.
So, yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts?
I don't think films have got grittier on the whole, because...
Okay, let's move on. I'm joking.
There was a lot of... I mean, British films have always been that, you know, like Get Carter and the old Ken Loach films. They've always been that grittiness to them and that realistic view. But the Harry Potter thing is, I think it was more the changing of directors.
They changed a few.
Yeah,
I know, but I don't know. It just felt that way for me.
Yeah.
Films feel more realistic nowadays. I don't know why, but they just do. They do to me.
fair enough. Yeah, cool. So the number 2 on my list is the same director as Annihilation, Mr. Alex Garfield, writer and director Alex Garfield. Ex Machina. Is that on your list?
It's not on my list, but it's a great.
Ex
film.
Machina, from a script writing point of view, is exactly what you want to do as a script writer. It is 3 characters, pretty much one location, and it is all about, it's just ideas, and it's such a simple concept. Domhnall Gleeson goes to this, he wins a competition, like very, very short at the start, like a minute, and he goes to this location in the middle of the nowhere where there's Oscar Isaac, who is the inventor of AI. He's like the owner of the company or whatever, and he's created a robot that is pretty much a human. And Dominic Gleeson has to, or Domhnall Gleeson. You got that, mate?
Yeah, it just sounds like it's raining. I was just checking.
Oh, maybe it is. Basically, this character who wins this competition has to test to see if he believes that this is a real person or not, or if the robot can make him believe it's real and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, they do a test.
Yeah, and it takes place over a few days, and it's just, I don't really want to say much more. It's just a perfect 3-character setup. There's sort of a fourth as well, but it's mainly just the 3, and it is just so perfectly constructed. And as a screenwriting film, you can't get much better than that. So yeah, in short, that's why you should watch Ex Machina.
Yeah, the acting in it is very good as well.
Yes.
All 3 of them bring something different to their specific roles as well. And definitely, I was blown away by just the scenery. You know what I mean? Meaning like the set, like was just perfect for the film. Like it felt realistic, futuristic, but equally at the same time naturey. I guess that's what they were going for. So yeah, I won't say too much more because you need to discover this for yourself.
Cool. Okay, so what's your number 2?
It's another Netflix original.
Okay.
It's called To the Bone.
I haven't heard of it.
It's a very good film. It's about a girl struggling with anorexia.
Okay.
When I watched it, I cried. I did cry. It's very emotional. It kind of came out of nowhere as well, because at the beginning I thought, because Keanu Reeves is in it.
Okay.
And I just thought, it's just a bit of Keanu Reeves, but he did all right in it.
Yeah.
But like, it got very real, and it kind of showed the daily struggle that not just people who like have addictions and stuff go through, but like, you know, everyday struggles that everyone goes through. And they put it into the writing and onto the screen very well. And yeah, no, there's this one particular scene, I won't say it, but of the girl and the mother, and it's just kind of heartbreaking, and I feel like it touches everybody's souls, like, and everybody's kind of relationship with their parents, in a way.
Sweet. Yeah, thanks for the recommendation. I haven't even heard of that.
It's a good one. It was surprisingly good.
Cool. And then we'll just go to our last ones, and then that'll be it.
Yeah.
So my top choice, so I did move these around a little bit, but the top one actually stayed the same.
Okay.
My top film on Netflix is Spotlight. Spotlight is a film about investigative journalism.
Oh, yes.
Looking into the abuses. Well, it's set in Boston, and the film focuses on the Catholic Church abuses in Boston on young children. And it's difficult to say why it's my top one. It is like All President's Men, which was a film back in the 70s or 80s about journalism. This is such a great example of the best of journalism. You really feel what it's like to uncover a story like that, and not just to uncover a story to sell papers, and not just to uncover a story to get glory. That rhymes. But because they care, and it's really important that this story comes out for the good of the community, and then they find out later actually the whole world. It's based on a true story.
Is it Mark Ruffalo?
Mark Ruffalo, Michael Keaton, Rachel McAdams.
Yeah. We watched it recently, didn't we?
Did we watch it together?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times. Yeah, we did watch it together.
Yeah.
It was... it just really resonated. It's not like a perfectly made film like 12 Years a Slave. It's not like... But it's just really, really gets... It just affected me, and it got to the heart of it. And also, it's a film about abuse where you never see any of the abuse. You don't see any of the stuff that went behind the scenes, but you feel the dread, and you feel horrible in terms of knowing what's going on, and the way they present it all is so tactful and so it just resonates really well. And the characters who are part of this spotlight investigative team are all really, really well established. That you within very little time you get a very strong idea of these different characters. And oh man, it just it's just phenomenal. So Spotlight is my top film on Netflix.
Sweet, fair enough.
Yeah,
I can't say much about it. I mean, I remember it, and I remember it being a good film, but maybe I just can't remember it.
Okay, that's fine.
Anyway, my top film on Netflix. Another Mark Ruffalo film. Can you guess what it is?
Avengers?
Shutter Island.
Ah.
Yeah, I really like Shutter Island. I really think Leonardo DiCaprio is just a great actor. But I also really liked the way that this film kind of messes with you in many different ways.
Yeah.
Not just, through the writing, the script, but through like visual stimulations and stuff like that. And sound effects, and even the music in it is just great. It's okay, so if people haven't seen Shutter Island, it's basically about two cops who go to a mental asylum.
It's on an island.
That's why it's called Shutter Island. And basically they're trying to figure out.
I think someone has escaped.
That's it. They're trying to figure out who prisoner 1, 2, 3 or something is. And it's just an investigation into that. And Ben Kingsley is the owner of the
I don't know what you call it.
The warden. Sorry, warden.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
just
the warden
the
of
top
the
dog.
the top guy, top psychologist, because it was a mental institute, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Top psychologist or something. And he's a great actor in himself. And the movie takes a lot of twists and turns along the way. And I feel very attached to the main character, and I feel I went on that journey with him, and like I experienced all this stuff with him, and it just all comes together, and it just I think it's great. I think it's a great Scorsese film.
Yeah,
I think a lot of Scorsese films are too long.
Mm-hmm.
I'll happily say that, but I thought this was perfect.
And you wouldn't necessarily know it was Scorsese either.
No, you wouldn't.
Like
it's not
Wolf
as
of
normal.
Wall Street is Goodfellas, but just hyped up more and in a different setting, or but it is it's very different. And like you say, I think a film about madness and a film about the characters questioning their own sanity, it makes you question your own. You're like, what was real? What did I just watch?
Yeah.
And I know me and another friend walked out of it feeling very, very weird. Like I know I was questioning my own sanity, and so it really plays with you, doesn't it? Cool.
Well, I guess that's it. Until
if you have stayed to the end, thank you for listening to us rattle on about our film choices. We will be back. Me and Jamie always chatting about films, so we'll do another one next time, and we'll do a top of whatever, and we'll review the film. And
we're just going to see where we go with this.
Yeah.
Like I say, like Dan said at the beginning, we're both very, very, very much into film, so we just want to give our opinion.
Yeah.
And just have fun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's totally cool.